We're looking at rain up here in Blue Ridge. Can you believe that? Here is a tight end shot here. We can see the roads ponding on the roadways right here, and the rain still coming down. Hasn't freezed over. We don't see any sleet mixed with this at all. Maybe in some of the higher elevated surfaces, maybe some freezing rain there, but not here up in Blue Ridge. It has been on the wet side, as our temperatures have been a little bit above the average, or a little bit above freezing so far this morning. But then not far away from this, we got sleet on the roads, obviously some ice. Even here in Midtown, not seeing much in the way of ice, even on some of these elevated surfaces that you see. We've been watching cars come by all morning long, sometimes more than the usual, if you will, for early Sunday morning, and people are getting around seemingly fine. Haven't seen any spin outs or anything like that, but we've been watching this very closely. You see those winds as the camera starts to bounce a little bit out there. All right, so things becoming a little bit more scattered now that the precipitation is backing off just a little bit. We watched it as it began to move through, moderate to light rain for the most part, and now that has pushed a little bit further to the north, and so we're starting to see things ease up a little bit, especially here in the metro area, but still up in the northeast is where you're going to find the sleet and the freezing rain. All right, notice up here toward Fanning, Gilmer County, all rain. I was just showing you that up in the Blue Ridge where it's just been all water so far, even up into parts of Union County as well. Not so much Towns County. Once you get into Rayburn County, it has been all freezing rain, maybe some sleet mixing in some spots. Mainly that sleet has been over toward the east. So we've been showing you in the Athens area where Joe was. We've been showing you up into where in Hall County where Doug was, that iced over areas on the streets and also on the sidewalks as well. They're holding good balance, which is good on that ice. Could be difficult to do as they begin to show us what's going on around there. But you can see here's Gainesville right here. And again, we begin seeing that mix out there. So a nice little layer of ice on the roads, some of the sidewalks out there. You're going to have to navigate very carefully if you must go out. Hopefully you're watching us on the inside and thinking, thanks for showing me this because I'm not going anywhere. That's a good thing to do. Further down toward the city, again, not much going on right now. You can see over toward the city of Atlanta, back down toward Forest Park, where we had some steady freezing rain coming down. That has begun to subside at least, and I do think we'll see more of the scattered variety coming through as we head through the rest of the morning. You can see back down here to the south, we got some scattered showers, again, all liquid right now, but as that moves up into that colder layer here, that will change over into freezing rain, or be coming down as freezing rain in some spots. So now we'll be driving in and out of it. Still awaiting the arrival of some heavy rain that's back off to the west of us now. See that line forming over much of Alabama. In fact, you look over the state of Alabama, it's all liquid, especially up towards Huntsville, heading further off to the north. That's that warmer air that's starting to seep right on in there. That cold front advancing over toward the east. And so we're expecting this to be the case for us as we head further into the afternoon, as Nicole has been mentioning. Now, again, that wedge will try to hold on as that warmer air begins to lift to the north. Hopefully, we'll see it right here in the city coming down as rain. And what that will help to do is wash some of that ice away. The unfortunate part is that as the roads stay wet, well, the ice is going to come back to us because the cold air will come in back behind that front once it moves through the area. Talking about the severe weather, you can see it down to the south of us mainly. We're looking at a level 1 threat over the central portions of the state. That includes some of our southernmost counties as well. Upson County, you got Lamar, Pike County included in that. Southern parts, Meriwether and Troup counties as well. That extends into Macon and further down to the south. Level 1 threat means isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible. Even south of that, we have a level 1 threat down to the southwestern portions of our state. This level right here would mean a general threat. So from Atlanta over to Athens, southward, that light green shade means a general threat. So we could even hear maybe a clap of thunder or two, but we're not looking at much in the way of any severe weather around. Temperature-wise, in the 20s still out there in Canton. You got it in Gainesville over into parts of Athens. 32 degrees. We've been holding on to that mark right there. Here we are at 7:30. May drop 1 more degree, I think, before we begin to rise back up a little bit there, and hoping for that rise up, if you will. 32 degrees also in Athens, over toward Carrollton, where it's been mainly on the wet side. Down toward the south, over toward LaGrange, you're at 36, but we're expecting those temperatures maybe even to heat up into the 50s as we head into the afternoon. Up here to the north, maybe, again, hanging on to the cold air, that wedge that's in place, folks. Going to watch to see how quickly that erodes as we head into the afternoon. Road temperatures have been above freezing for the most part as well. Over here toward Buford, along Georgia 400, you're at 30 degrees there, so that's below the average, below freezing. And then up here toward the north and east, US 76. We've been looking at that cold air as well. Ice storm warning will continue at least through Monday morning. We're looking at accumulations will be significant, very significant up there in the Northeast. In fact, when we look at the impacts, we're looking at those impacts mainly up there to the far north and east, where we could see above a ½ inch of oh, my map's doing something funny here. All right, above at least a ½ inch, that's where we could see those significant impacts. When we look at impacts, when we look at a 1/10 of an inch, which is what we're seeing mainly around the metro area, that's where you see that glaze that pops up. We've been seeing it on the railings. We've been seeing that on some of the higher elevations, right? On some of the power lines and also on some of the trees there. And not too terribly heavy, but enough to cause some damage, to cause some power outages. And slickness on the roadways are two major concerns there. Can't even really walk around. Right? You're living in the downtown area, you mainly do a lot of walking around at least. I mean, maybe not a lot of driving around, and that could cause some problems or some headaches there. It becomes really a nuisance. Problematic once you get up to about a ½ of an inch, and we suspect that's going to be more of the widespread totals there, where we'll see it dangerous on bridges. Some of the overpasses makes it very tough to navigate on your car. You may start sliding, especially when you go down a hill, and we have a lot of hills here in the area as well. Trees and power lines start to sag a little bit once you get up into the ½ of an inch. Once you get up to a ½ inch or higher, that's where it becomes a little bit more crippling, especially as you head up toward an inch. That's doubling that, right? And so you're looking at a lot. You're looking at impassable roads, no travel at all, power outages, not only power outages, but power outages that could last for a very long time. And with colder air coming in, we really need that heat source, right? And so that's going to help to warm us up. This is a huge system, as you can see. We've been talking about this for all the way up to New Mexico, all the way up into Maine is where you're going to find these winter storm warnings. Anything from snow to sleet and freezing rain coming down, even rain the further south you go. Again, along with this front that's going to be pushing through, perhaps even severe weather. Wow. Doing it all here in the east. You got from St. Louis and Cincinnati and southern parts of Ohio, all the way over into D.C. and New York, where the snow is coming down. Expecting to see, especially in this northeastern corridor, anywhere between 6 and 10 inches of snowfall. And then once that area of low pressure starts to lift up there, warmer air will start to filtrate in, and we'll start to see some freezing rain in some spots. So can you imagine 8 inches of snow and then freezing rain on top of that? Crunchy, to say the least, right? But very slick as well, even as your tires begin to sink down into that snow. Don't want that. Been there, done that. We got to get rid of this ice, folks. It's going to be on the scattered side as we head through the rest of the morning. You got scattered precipitation, again, coming down in the form of ice over here, especially to the north and east, where that cold air is still going to be damming up against the mountains. Here comes that front, driving in some very heavy rain. Now, with the cold air still in place, for example, over towards Gainesville, where there's heavy rain coming in, you're talking about heavy sleet and freezing rain coming down. All right, as long as that cold air holds on. We're expecting here in the Atlanta area down to the south to be on the warmer side. So just some heavy rain that's going to come through. Again, maybe a clap of thunder or two. We'll watch to see if there's any severe weather, especially for our southernmost counties, places like the Range, down toward Thomaston, maybe even Peachtree City and over toward Edenton. There could be some thunderstorms that could produce some gusty winds. We're talking about winds maybe in excess of 58, 60 miles per hour, certainly possible. That moves through. We'll get that northerly wind coming back to us, and that's where the cold air begins to move back in. We'll feel it tonight going into our Monday. In fact, Monday, fortunately, a lot of the schools are out. That's good news. With the winds, it's going to feel much colder out there. We're talking about wind chills that could feel anywhere between 0, 5, and 15 degrees. Very, very cold throughout our forecast area. And it will remain cold through the day on Wednesday. Stopping here by 1:30 in the afternoon. We'll have mostly sunny skies, but temperatures will only rise close to the freezing mark, if we can get that high, right? Cold advisory in effect for all the counties that you see highlighted here in the blue. We're talking about those wind chills again up to 0, up to 15 degrees. Very, very cold air in place, and that's going to linger right on into Tuesday morning, where we'll start off in the teens as well, right around 16 degrees. Temperatures will hover right around the 40-degree mark, below our average for this time of year. We'll have the sunshine in place, but at least we'll stay dry for the rest of the week heading into the weekend.